My name is Karah Behrend, Karahbehrend.
And what is your background with the Air Force?
So I came into the Air Force in December of 2011 as a communication signals intelligence analyst, so 1 and 2 Charlie. I spent roughly 6.5 years in before I was medically retired. So in March of 2015, I was diagnosed with a rare neurological disorder called reflex sympathetic dystrophy. Basically, it's a malfunction between your brain and your limbs, causing repeated signals to be sent down your spinal cord and, out and about. For most people, it causes repeated pain signals. For me, it cut off motor control. So progressive. So for a long time, it was just pain. And then in June of last year, actually right after the Warrior Games, I had an ankle injury, got sick. I had already had a few car accidents, and everything just kind of kept going, and it ended up spreading up my spinal cord, and started going from there. So yeah, it was a pretty quick downfall, or regression, I guess, regression of function or loss. So actually quad rugby was my outlet. We knew that I was going to be able to play outside of the Air Force Wounded Warrior program, so I had been reaching out to some teams, and the program here, the people here, had really been helping me get in touch with the people that I needed, and reached out, and they were really the ones that were keeping me together when I was falling apart. So I actually had my first event here at Eglin 3 years ago, and when I first showed up, I was so depressed, so down, so just out of sorts. I didn't even want to live anymore. I got forced to come here, and they forced me to try sports and really try and see what I could do again. And I fell in love, and they wanted me to come back to another event and come back to another, and they're like, hey, we see that you're really starting to take this on. Maybe you should start taking on a role as a mentor and start getting other people into that path as well and helping them in their recovery. So that and a lot of hard work. For a lot of us, you're getting back what you thought you lost. So when you have a severe injury or illness, you go through the same grieving process you would have as if you lost a loved one. So for me, I have to go through that grieving process of, okay, I can't use my legs anymore. Okay, so what do I do now? Like, you got to keep pressing forward, and sports, even if you're not seeing it, it's helping you push through, because you're always going to be working a little bit differently just to kind of do what you can to beat somebody else and, get up on them a little bit, and it's going to force you to really relearn the love of life. So I actually played quad rugby the first time I believe it was November at the Joint Base Andrews caravan. I was introduced to it, and I fell in love immediately. A few months down the road, when I did end up getting sicker and sicker, we realized that I would be able to play outside of here. So we, reached out to a few teams, and I ended up finding my home with an all-veteran team called Oscar Mike. So I've just been playing with them ever since. 3 to 4 tournaments a month during season. Practice 2-3 times a week. So that's actually my favorite part. When you're like teaching a kid something and they realize they can do it, and that little like light bulb goes off and their eyes like widen up and you get super excited because they're excited. That's how it is for me when I'm coaching and when I'm teaching people things, and they figure out they can do things that they didn't think they could, and you can just see their whole world change in like the split second, and yeah, I'm getting goosebumps. Yeah. First one, there's only 2 things in your life you can control. That is your attitude and your effort. Nothing else is up to you. You can try as hard as you want to make things the way you want, but you can only really control your attitude and your effort. The biggest thing I want people to take away is that, a lot of us are not combat wounded. And a lot of people have this very big stigma on the word wounded warrior. It is any service member who is severely injured, ill, or wounded in the line of duty. and has to go through a med board. So we're going to come in and we're going to help you out with that process and really make sure that you're getting taken care of as much as possible. And, you know, just have fun.